Good morning, guys. We are off up to Fremantle today, going to have a look at the Army Museum. It's been about 10 years since we were last up there, so about time we got up with some new camera gear and get some new footage, and we'll show you what we find. It's a pretty good place to go and visit based on our last trip. Lots of exhibits, lots of different things to see, so if you're interested in military history, especially Western Australian and Australian military history, we would recommend you go up and have a look for yourselves. So here we are at the Army History Museum down in Burt Street, Fremantle. Just having a look at the entrance here, standing on the old parade ground. It's still a car park, but unfortunately it's not for the general public anymore. And just panning around, you can see the cars here with buildings across the other side there. And we've got a number of military vehicles displayed outside here, which we will now wander around and have a look at. A very long time ago, when I was a mere teenager, I used to go ice skating in East Perth every Saturday. As I walked from the bus stop to the skating rink, I used to pass an old, rather unloved building that had an old World War II vehicle sitting outside. I think it might have been a Universal Carrier. I never went in to have a look, but I knew it had something to do with the Army, and it was a museum of some sort. Well, the Army Museum has come a very long way since then, and today it is housed in the old artillery barracks in Burt Street in Fremantle. The museum has been there since 1995. The barracks dates from 1910 and was originally the base for the Royal Australian Garrison Artillery. This unit manned gun batteries that protected the port of Fremantle. The initial buildings were designed to accommodate 120 men and officers. During World War I, the barracks were used as a hospital and continued in that role until a year after the war ended. In 1948, the site was used mostly for the Army Reserves as a training facility. Today, the old buildings make a wonderful location for the museum, and the site is heritage listed. This all nearly came to a sudden end in 2000, when the government decided that selling the site might be a good idea. There was a huge outcry, and thankfully good sense prevailed, and the museum has remained in place. There are a number of different galleries in the museum, each dealing with different periods and different conflicts, and there's one dealing with military traditions. A large emphasis is placed on information, and it's a great resource for anybody interested in the history of warfare and the place of the Australian Army in that history. The museum is funded by entry fees, fundraising events, donations, bequests, and by hiring out facilities on the site. These facilities include the officers' mess, where there's a function room, bar, barbecue and kitchen facilities. There's also a conference room with a computer, projector, lectern and speaker. This also has a kitchen facility at the rear of the room that is suitable for serving light refreshments. The conference room has seating available for about 80 people. The barracks square is also available for events for people who want a larger space. Bookings for all these facilities can be made by contacting the museum, and a link to their website is provided in the description below this video. Visiting hours for the public are between 10 AM and 3 PM on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays and Sundays. Last entry is generally 1 PM, as it takes about a couple of hours to see the museum properly. The museum relies heavily on a small army of volunteers who do all sorts of tasks to help the museum run smoothly. There are generally positions available for a range of different jobs. So if you'd like to get involved, get in touch with the museum directly and let them know you're interested. We highly recommend the museum as a great place to visit and explore. There's a lot to see and do, so set aside at least 2 hours for your visit. It can be thirsty work on a hot day, so drop into the museum shop, located at the entrance, and pick up a cold drink. There are also gifts and souvenirs for sale, and proceeds go to help keep the museum going and expand its exhibits.